how did it feel seeing all your old students again and meeting up and giving them their letters?
It was exciting. It was better than I thought this year because it was a little different. Generally with the houses, you know, it was wide open with all the seniors from all the different schools and other classes. But this setting was a little more intimate because it was just students who wrote letters that were able to sit and reminisce, you know, so they all had something in common, so it felt a little more family-ish. Gotcha. If there's such a word. Yes, well, the students, since they're in school already, you know, for whatever reason, maybe they didn't get here early, they take a bus, the students will hand them to those, and I do have some in which I will personally have to track down or either mail for a student. Well, it was started because I wanted to give the kids something to reflect on, to look back and see how they've grown or not have grown. Because too often, you know, when we're sitting in the moment, we generally don't think about what has happened before, and how do you know where you're going if you don't know where you've been? So now that they know where they've been and how far they've come, they'll know exactly, you know, which path to take, which direction. Are they on the right path or going in the wrong direction?
And when did you start this?
About 20 years ago. In about 1998. Well, just recently, last year in 2017, another teacher adopted it. We're on the same team, so we'll be covering approximately 150 kids if all participate. This is not a mandatory thing to do. It is, you know, voluntary. And I think, you know, as people start to see the satisfaction, the fun that some of the students are having, that more people will, you know, voluntarily join on. Today we had one young lady who didn't write a letter, and she was kind of regretting it, but I couldn't force her to do it. There's no point value attached. It was something that you had to want to do for yourself. A suggestion for a letter would be, a generic letter would be, put in there where you are now, what you hope to be doing in 4 years, you know, your friends, your family, things, you know, that you consider important right now, and anything else you want to add. As we saw when some students opened, they had letters from their sisters and parents. They had pictures of themselves. One person even had a grade sheet of grammar and said, I have to do better in grammar. So it was just curious of, you know, to see what was important to them then and see if they still have those values now.
And were you able to see that in some of the students when you met them again and how they changed and matured?
Oh yeah, I saw it in pretty much every student. I mean, it's kind of humbling to know that they took everything you say, you know, to heart, and that they listened to your advice, and pretty much all of them are going to college. So that's a feather in the cap. The goodbyes are always kind of awkward because I probably won't see them again, so most of them are adults. Or if I go to the graduation, which sometimes I do, so it'll be very interesting to see. But it was also nice to see the freshmen from last year stop in to say hi, which means they are invested in what I have to offer. So I can't wait to see the freshman in 3 years and the sophomore that stopped in at the end to see him in 2.